It's very hard to live your life not knowing who might attack you or why, especially when I haven't even done anything to deserve it. It's just because of how I look and what somebody thinks I am.
My name is Muna, and as a child I was gregarious and full of life. I was a tomboy, always jumping in mud puddles, pulling tails off of lizards and playing with the boys. As I look at these pictures now, I am sad to think about what this girl is going to face growing up. She'll be spit on. She'll be called names like towelhead and sand nigger, camel jockey. She'll be ridiculed by strangers and humiliated in front of others. She'll be looked upon with disgust and treated like a danger to society. She'll be run off the road while driving. Others will tell her she doesn't deserve to live. She'll even be attacked in public and nearly stabbed. Repeatedly, her life will be threatened. And because of what? People's prejudice towards her religion.
When crimes are committed against somebody solely because of who they are, for things that they can't change, there's a harsh psychological component that happens to those people.
In the period of a few months, I had been affected by so many hate incidents, I guess. That was it. I was done. I pretty much broke down after that, and I couldn't live my life the way I needed to. I couldn't function, and I had to seek help.
Anybody who belongs to a different class of people is vulnerable to those same types of attack.
It's really humiliating to go through things like that, and it's very scary. There's no way for me to know who I'm supposed to watch out for, and how am I supposed to feel safe doing everyday things. It makes me feel helpless, to be very honest.
When no one in the community stands up in the face of racism or anti-Semitism or homophobia, really bad things can happen. And ADL is there to stand up and to speak out. And our hope is that by educating young people and educating members of our community, we're empowering more and more members of our society to use their voice and to recognize the responsibility they have to call out injustice when they see it.
It is a quality of life issue to be able to express yourself, again, no matter what you look like or who you love or what God you pray to.
I go to work every day, I play with my kids, I pay my taxes, I like to play sports, and I'm really not different from anyone else.
Intolerance is an epidemic. It might start with a Jew, but it's going to continue on to whoever else is down the road, whether it's a black person or a different religion or whatever.
As an adult, I've struggled to deal with hate, and I've struggled to deal with discrimination. What do children feel like?
My name is Spencer. Growing up, I loved to skateboard and get up early Saturday mornings to watch cartoons. Normal kid stuff. When I was in 6th grade, I was diagnosed with diabetes. Thinking back, it's impossible for me to comprehend why other kids would target me for something that I couldn't control. They called me faggot. They called me fat ass. They said I was stupid and would never amount to anything. They thought this disease made me weak, and I became defined by it. They made me a victim, an outcast, a freak, just because there was something different about me.
The effect that the kids have on me whenever they're saying these things, it makes me lose the will to do anything else. It makes me think maybe I should just give up and, let this disease or whatever else just overwhelm me.
When I see a student or hear a student say that they've lost all hope because of bullying, it makes me feel that we have tremendously failed them.
The ideal situation for me would be coming to school and having a normal high school day, going to classes and not being reminded constantly that I'm different and being accepted by everyone else.
The ADL and the No Place for Hate initiative is not just another school program for me. We had a student, mentally handicapped student, who was beaten, he was burned, he was choked out, and he was urinated on while he was unconscious. This isn't about school, this is really about community. And if we don't start learning to truly respect each other, we all lose.
When mass hysteria happens, which happens every day around the world, somebody has to speak up. And if we don't speak up, it'll go on, it'll continue. And that's why I think the ADL is so important, because we do speak up.
I never thought I would have to say that my family would be victims of a hate crime. I was mortified when I first saw the swastika. I've stayed pretty angry throughout the whole process. I've tried to let it go, but it just comes down to the fact that, it's 2011, and how can this still be going on in the United States?
From the very beginning, ADL knew in order to help Jewish people, they needed to help all people.
If we as a society can step up and support each other and educate our neighbors and our friends and the community we live in about differences so there isn't fear, then I want to be part of that and I want to support that. No, I have an obligation to do something about that.
My name is Jennifer. I was born disabled. Looking back, I wonder how you could explain to a child the concept of bigotry. How could you ever prepare them to deal with something so sinister? When I was in 3rd grade, I had a teacher staple a note to my chest that said, "This doesn't belong in my classroom." When she looked at me, she didn't see a human being. For me, the most prevalent emotion that I felt was anger, that someone would say at that early of an age that I wasn't worth investing time or effort in. But that just made me want to be equal even more, to prove them wrong. My success and well-being are interwoven with the rest of the community's success and well-being. We cannot have a healthy community without healthy individuals.
I can't imagine how many broken people are walking around every day and what that does to our lives, to our families, to our communities, right? And unfortunately, sometimes hate begets hate. There needs to be something that breaks this cycle. There needs to be something that brings light and hope and inspiration.
I think it speaks volumes about the ADL and the work that they're willing to do for all minority groups, not just one minority group. I always thought it was a Jewish organization, and the greatest quote that I've heard is that you can't defeat one form of hate unless you defeat all forms of hate.
Over the years, ADL has mastered the art of fighting hate. No one does it better than we do.
The education work that we do in the community is really making a difference. I think the legislative advocacy we do is extremely important. And it's a voice that's out there that speaking up for people that maybe aren't normally represented.
What's great about the ADL is that we're working to break down the preconceived notions that people have of each other, of what it means to be in a different class of people. And it allows for real discussions and real actions.
No one can change the world all at once, but it's entirely probable that we can change community at a time.
It's a culture shift, it's a generational shift, it's something that can be widespread and really change the way that people see each other in the coming generations.
The work I do with the ADL will change the world, little by little, and person by person.
Martin Luther King Jr. said, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." We all share the responsibility to engage in our community and to speak out against injustice. Let's be a model of a community of respect, where those with the means to fight will fight to put an end to discrimination, hatred, and prejudice. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. The future is what we make it. Stand with the ADL. Be the light.
To make this a better world and fight discrimination, be the light.
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 Open your heart. Be the light.
Be the light.
Be the light.
Be the light.
Be the light. Be the light.
We're talking about important things here. We're talking about who we want to be as a community, and we need your help. We need you to get engaged. We need you to take action. We need you to be the light.